All right, settle in everyone because today we are taking a deep dive into a world built on captivating storytelling.
Oh, I like that.
We're going deep into the life cycle of the common octopus
By Emma Knight.
by Emma Knight. That's right.
A novel that really, the title alone should grab you.
It really does.
I mean, it's an intriguing title, and it absolutely lives up to it. I think you'll agree.
Oh, absolutely. And that's exactly the feeling we want to leave you with today.
Right.
Like, by the end of this deep dive, you are going to be itching to get your hands on this book,
Yes.
but with no spoilers.
No spoilers.
We're not going to give away any of the big twists or anything like that.
Just enough to pique your curiosity.
Just enough to pique your
To
curiosity.
give you a little taste
A little taste.
of what's in store.
That's right. Consider this your official invitation to a literary escape to the Scottish countryside,
Ooh, I like that.
with a touch of mystery and a whole lot of heart.
Yes, lots of heart.
So the story centers around Pen, a Canadian student who finds herself at the University of Edinburgh.
Okay, so far so good.
Seems straightforward enough, right?
Hmm.
But here's where things get interesting. Her middle name is Elliot,
Okay.
and it's not a family name.
That's interesting.
Now, that seemingly small detail is like a breadcrumb trail,
Ooh.
leading us to the heart of the story and to the very intriguing Lennox family.
I was going to say, that sounds like there's a story there.
Oh, the Lennoxes?
The Lennoxes.
They're like something out of a classic novel. We've got Elliot, the famous author, living in a grand, slightly crumbling castle with his wife, Christina.
The classic.
Then there are their sons, Sasha and Freddie.
Okay.
Freddie, well, let's just say there's a bit of an enigma surrounding him.
All right, so a little bit of
A
mystery.
little bit of mystery.
Right off the bat.
Right. And we can't forget George,
Ah, yes.
who bursts onto the scene like a breath of fresh air,
Yes.
with a connection to the world of fashion that you wouldn't expect in this quiet corner of Scotland.
No, not at all.
It's like each character brings a new layer of intrigue to the table.
Absolutely.
But even with all these personalities swirling around, the story never feels crowded.
That's good.
Emma Knight does a brilliant job of balancing their individual stories
It's a hard thing to do.
while weaving them all together.
Yeah.
And that's that delicate balance that makes you want to keep turning the pages.
It's true. You're invested in each character's journey, and you can't wait to see how their paths intersect.
Exactly. And speaking of journeys, Pen's university life is as vibrant as you'd imagine.
I would imagine so.
She forms close friendships with Alice and Joe.
Okay.
And let me tell you, their dynamic is so relatable, full of laughter, late-night talks, and that dash of drama that comes with being a young adult.
Oh, for sure.
It's like a perfect snapshot of university life with all its ups and downs.
Absolutely.
But this isn't just a story about student shenanigans.
Okay.
The relationships run much deeper. You see Pen trying to make sense of her own family, especially the complicated relationship between her parents.
Oh, okay.
And on top of that, there's this palpable tension between Sasha and his mother, Christina.
Hmm.
You can just tell there's a history there,
Yeah.
something unspoken that hangs heavy in the air.
I see.
And it all unfolds against this absolutely breathtaking backdrop of Scotland.
Oh, I bet.
Knight's descriptions are so vivid. You
Mhm.
can practically feel the dampness of the castle walls, the
Yeah.
crispness of the Scottish air,
You're right there.
and just picture those rolling hills that seem to hold centuries of stories.
I can almost picture it.
It's more than just a setting, you know,
Ah.
it's woven into the very fabric of the story.
It's its own character, almost.
Exactly. Oh, and speaking of woven in, did we mention the recurring theme of family secrets?
Oh.
It's like this quiet undercurrent that pulls you deeper and deeper into the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something big is coming,
Yeah.
but you can't quite grasp what it is. And just when you think you've got a handle on things,
Yeah.
remember that detail about Pen's middle name?
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's just say it's no coincidence.
Hmm.
There's a connection to the Lennox family that runs far deeper than anyone could have imagined.
Ooh, okay. Now I really want to know.
Buckle up,
Yeah.
because this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
It's the revelation about George's father.
Oh.
It's a complete game changer.
Whoa.
It recontextualizes everything we thought we knew about the family dynamics
Oh, wow.
and adds a whole new layer of complexity.
So it sounds like I need to read this book like 2 times.
Oh, at least 2 times.
2 times at least.
Maybe 3.
Yeah.
But it's not just about the shock value.
Okay.
It makes you think about the lasting impact of choices
Right.
and how the past can ripple through generations,
Generations. That's a good point.
like a domino effect.
Yeah.
You see how this one revelation starts to topple long-held beliefs and assumptions?
Interesting.
And it's not just about the big explosive moments.
Oh.
Night also masterfully weaves in these subtle symbols, like the octopus, which keeps popping up throughout the story.
The octopus. I'm intrigued.
Right. So the octopus is known for its intelligence,
Sure.
its adaptability, and, most importantly, its ability to regenerate.
I did not know that.
It's almost like a metaphor for the characters themselves,
Oh.
constantly evolving and navigating the changing tides of their lives.
Okay, yeah, so they're shedding their old selves, transforming, adapting to their circumstances.
Exactly.
And it sounds like there are a lot of circumstances to adapt to in the story.
A lot. We've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
What's grabbing your attention so far?
Honestly, it's that mystery surrounding Penn's middle name
Yeah.
and the Lennox family. I need to know how it all connects.
Right. And the octopus symbolism.
Yes, and that.
That's definitely piqued my interest.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how that unfolds.
All right, listeners, we're going to leave you on a little bit of a cliffhanger,
A little cliffhanger.
but trust us,
It's a good one.
it's worth the wait. Stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive into the life cycle of the common octopus.
We'll be right back.
We'll be back with more insights, more intrigue, and maybe even a few more questions to ponder.
Lots to think about.
Welcome back. I am still reeling from that revelation about George's father.
Right. It's like Emma Knight set up this intricate puzzle, and just when you think you've got all the pieces in place, she flips the table
Flips the table.
and reveals a whole new set of connections.
I know, and the way she reveals it, so subtly,
Yeah,
it's masterful.
it is.
I found myself going back and rereading certain passages. Just like, wait a minute, did I miss something?
Yeah, she plants those seeds of doubt early on.
Yeah.
So you are constantly questioning
Yes.
what you think you know.
And it makes you really look at all the characters in a new light.
Absolutely.
Especially, remember how we talked about that tension between Sasha and his mother, Christina?
Yes.
This revelation sheds a new light on their whole dynamic.
Oh, wow.
It's not just a typical mother-son clash.
Right.
There's this whole history of unspoken truths and resentments simmering beneath the surface.
And so suddenly, Christina's fierce protectiveness of her family makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
You start to see her choices, even the ones that seem harsh,
Right.
through a new lens.
It's like watching a character unfold
Right.
before your very eyes, revealing depths you never imagined.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, how well do we really know the people closest to us?
Right.
What secrets are they carrying?
It's a question that lingers
It really does.
long after you finish the book.
Yes.
And it's not just about the characters, it also makes you reflect on your own life, your own relationships.
Absolutely.
Are there hidden truths
Ooh, that's deep.
that we're choosing to ignore?
That's a good question.
And speaking of choices, Penn's own journey of self-discovery takes an interesting turn in this part of the book.
Okay.
Remember how she was piecing together those clues about her family history?
Yeah, driven by that mystery surrounding her middle name.
Yes. Well, the truth she uncovers
Okay.
is not at all what she expected. What struck me was how Penn's search for answers becomes so intertwined with her own personal growth. It's not just about finding out what happened in the past.
Right.
It's about understanding who she is in the present,
Okay.
independent of her family's history.
Right. So she's breaking free in a way.
Yes, and she's not alone in this struggle. Her friends, Alice and Joe,
Yeah.
are also facing their own challenges.
Alice's storyline takes a bit of a darker turn.
Yes, it does.
We hinted at her complicated relationship with her tutor,
Julian,
Julian, right?
in the first part.
And let's just say Knight doesn't shy away from exploring the complexities of power dynamics
Right.
and the potential for manipulation in academic settings.
It's definitely a stark contrast to the almost idyllic atmosphere of the Lennox estate.
Yes, it is. Alice's story brings in this element of realism,
Yeah.
highlighting that darker side of human nature.
But even within that darkness,
Yeah.
Alice's strength and resilience really shine through.
She does. She's not a victim.
No,
She's a survivor.
she is.
And her journey, though very different from Penn's, really adds another layer of depth to the novel's exploration of those female relationships.
And it's so refreshing to see female friendships portrayed with such honesty and complexity.
I agree.
You know, there's genuine love and support there,
Of course.
but also those inevitable moments of friction and misunderstanding
Right.
that come with any close relationship.
And as those relationships evolve,
Yeah.
So does the atmosphere of the novel.
Oh, it does.
There's this sense of unease, like a storm is brewing on the horizon.
Yes, and remember how we talked about the setting being almost like another character?
Oh, yeah.
The Scottish landscape seems to mirror this growing tension and uncertainty.
It's like she's foreshadowing what's to come.
It's like you can practically feel the weight of the secrets pressing down on the characters, threatening to shatter that fragile peace they've built.
And then, of course, there's the romantic element.
Oh, yes.
That starts to simmer between Pen and Sasha.
Ooh. Tell me more.
It's not your typical love story.
No.
Their connection is charged with this electric energy,
Oh.
but it's also fought with obstacles.
Right, because their families' histories are intertwined in a way that makes their relationship almost forbidden.
You're rooting for them,
Yes.
but you also know it's not going to be easy.
No, you know it's not going to be easy, and as Pen and Sasha are navigating your feelings, we also get glimpses into Freddie's world.
Yes.
He still remains an enigma.
He does.
But certain details start to emerge, hinting at a troubled past, a sensitivity that's both endearing and heartbreaking.
He's a character that stays with you long after you've closed the book.
You just want to understand him, you know?
Yeah, you want to unravel the layers of his personality.
Yeah, and I love that Knight deliberately leaves some of his story untold.
I think so, too.
She allows us to fill in the gaps with our own interpretations.
It invites the reader to become an active participant in the story.
Yes.
To think beyond what's explicitly stated on the page.
That's what sets this book apart.
It does.
It's not just a story you passively consume. It's an experience that engages you on multiple levels.
And just when you think you've figured it all out, Knight throws in another twist.
Yes, she does.
That changes everything.
Like, wait a minute, I thought I knew what was happening.
Exactly.
She's constantly challenging the reader.
It's true.
Look closer.
Yeah.
There's more here than meets the eye.
More than meets the eye, exactly.
And that brings us back to the octopus metaphor.
Oh, yes, the octopus.
Which takes on even deeper meaning in this part of the book.
What are we thinking here?
So, we talked about its adaptability before.
We did.
But there's another aspect that becomes particularly relevant here.
Okay.
Its ability to camouflage itself.
Camouflage. Okay.
To blend in with its surroundings.
Interesting. So are the characters hiding their true selves?
Ooh, good point.
Just like the octopus blends into its environment.
Are they presenting a facade to the world? Are they hiding their vulnerabilities?
Or are they just trying to navigate this complex world?
Right.
Where appearances often deceive.
That is a fascinating parallel.
It is.
It makes me want to revisit certain scenes, looking for those subtle hints of camouflage.
I agree.
The moments where the characters might be concealing their true feelings.
Exactly. That's the beauty of this novel.
Yeah.
It invites multiple readings, multiple interpretations.
Yes.
Each time you delve back in, you discover something new.
I love that.
A nuance you hadn't noticed before.
All right, listeners, we've covered a lot of ground in this part of our deep dive.
We have.
But trust me,
there's more.
There's still so much more to discover.
There's so much more.
We've got one more part to go.
One more.
And I can guarantee it is going to be a thought-provoking ride. Okay, we're back for the final part of our deep dive into the life cycle of the common octopus.
This is it?
This is it, I have to admit. I'm a little hesitant to say goodbye to these characters.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. It's like we've been living alongside them this whole time.
Right.
Experiencing all of their triumphs and heartbreaks.
Yeah, and in this final part,
the
stakes get even higher.
Oh.
All those secrets that have been simmering beneath the surface finally come to a boil.
Ooh.
And the characters are forced to confront the truth.
Okay.
No matter how painful it might be.
Remember Talmòrach?
Yes.
That charming village near the Lennox estate.
Yes.
Well, it plays a much more significant role in this final act.
Oh, how so?
It's no longer just a picturesque setting, you know?
Right.
It becomes a crucible where the characters' past and present collide.
So it's like all the hidden truths that have been whispered behind closed doors are suddenly out in the open.
Yeah, exactly. And the villagers, with all their long memories and intertwined histories, become both witnesses and participants in this unfolding drama.
Wow. So they're not just these background characters anymore.
No, they're not.
They're woven right into the heart of it.
Exactly.
And at the center of it all is Christina Lennox.
Ah, Christine.
We've seen glimpses of her strength and her vulnerability throughout the novel.
Yes.
But in this final part, she truly comes into her own.
Ooh. Oh.
She's faced with these impossible choices, forced to reckon with the consequences of her actions.
Right.
All the secrets she's kept hidden for so long.
So many secrets.
So many secrets. And I found myself both admiring and questioning her choices, you know.
I can imagine.
She's so fiercely protective of her family,
Yeah.
but at what cost?
Right.
It really makes you think about the burdens we carry
Mm-hmm.
and the sacrifices we make in the name of love and loyalty.
And it's all made even more poignant by Knight's use of the octopus metaphor.
Oh, the octopus. Okay.
So we've talked about its adaptability
We have.
and its camouflage.
Yeah.
But there's another layer that becomes incredibly powerful in this final part.
What's that?
The female octopus's sacrifice for her offspring.
Wow. Okay.
It's this really potent symbol of the selflessness of motherhood.
Right.
The lengths a mother will go to protect her young.
It sounds like that resonates deeply with Christina's journey.
It really does. You see her wrestling with her own instincts.
Yeah.
Her desire to shield her children from the truth,
Mm-hmm.
even as she realizes that sometimes the most loving act is to let go.
And letting go is a recurring theme throughout this final part, isn't it?
It is.
Like the characters are forced to confront their attachments,
Mhm.
their expectations,
Yeah.
and ultimately to release what no longer serves them.
Exactly. It's painful, but it's also incredibly liberating.
It is. And it's not just about individual growth either.
Right.
It's about the evolution of relationships.
That's true.
You know, we see Penn and Sasha's bond really tested. Alice finding the strength to break free from a toxic relationship.
Oh.
And even Freddie, who's been shrouded in mystery for so much of the novel,
Yeah.
takes steps towards healing and self-acceptance.
Freddie's story, it really stays with you.
It does, I have to say, it really tugged at my heartstrings.
Yeah.
He's a character who's been so deeply wounded by the past,
Right.
but you see that glimmer of hope, you know,
Yeah.
that resilience that makes you believe he's capable of finding peace.
He is.
And his relationship with Sasha takes on a whole new dimension in this final part.
I was going to say, what about their relationship?
There's a sense of forgiveness, of acceptance, that's just so moving.
I agree.
It's a reminder that even the most fractured relationships can be mended.
That's a beautiful thought.
It is, even if the scars remain.
And what about the ending?
Oh, the ending.
What did you think?
Well, it's both satisfying and thought-provoking, you know.
Okay.
Night doesn't tie everything up in a neat little bow. She leaves space for ambiguity, for the possibility of new beginnings.
It's an ending that stays with you.
It does.
It invites you to imagine what happens next for these characters.
It really does. And it also prompts you to reflect on your own life.
Right.
On the choices you've made, the paths you've taken,
Yeah.
and the ones that still lie ahead.
I think that's the true power of this book.
It is.
It stays with you long after you've turned that final page.
The life cycle of the Common Octopus is a novel that will challenge you.
Absolutely.
It will move you.
It will.
And it will ultimately leave you with a sense of hope.
Yes.
A belief that even in the face of adversity, transformation is always possible.
Beautifully said. And on that note, we'll bring this deep dive to a close.
I think so too. We hope we've piqued your curiosity,
Yes.
sparked your imagination
And maybe even inspired you to embark on your own journey of discovery.
with this captivating novel.
So to all our listeners out there,
If you're looking for a story that will make you think, that will make you feel, and that will leave you with a lingering sense of wonder,
we highly recommend diving into The Life Cycle of the Common Octopus.
by Emma Knight.
Happy reading, everyone!